Folks, the US government might have turned a corner on Coinbase. And this is very, very good for us crypto investors. Now, there have been a large transfer of 10,000 Bitcoins to a deposit address from the Silk Road stash. Now, that usually is bad, but this time it's a little bit different. And instead of selling, the United States government might be looking to custody such assets. So essentially, from Arkham Intelligence on Twitter, 10K Silk Road Bitcoin moved to Coinbase Prime. Wallet BC1QL received 10K BTC from a known US government wallet 2 weeks ago. The BTC has just been sent to 33J, a Coinbase Prime deposit wallet. Now, while that usually might be bad, this time it is a little bit different because the US Marshals Service, which is a department of the DOJ, announced a partnership last month with Coinbase Prime, and we covered this, to safeguard and trade large cap digital assets. There's little insight into what exactly happens with the tokens after landing on the centralized platform. Obviously, Bitcoin went down today. Maybe they're afraid the US government might sell more, but essentially this actually might be the US Marshals getting some of that Bitcoin and putting it for custody. You know, former President Donald Trump has mentioned this. Cynthia Loomis has a bill for this, so they might actually be getting ready for this. And obviously, they want crypto money, crypto industry super PAC money. So Kamala Harris might actually be doing this as well. So this is extremely welcome news for us crypto investors. And remember, the last confirmed sale of Silk Road assets by the government was March of 2023, not this year, and unloaded 9,861 Bitcoin. So the government, although they've been making transfers, they have not been selling since last year, and that might bode excessively well for us if they actually make it a strategic reserve. And this could be the first signal that they are custodying it for a strategic reserve, because there's several candidates that have mentioned it, so they might just be getting ready for this. Because confirmed government sales of Silk Road stuff from the United States has not been that much since March of last year. And that's been roughly a year and a half since they've actually sold anything. So that's really, really good news for us. In other words, September is looking to be good for us right now because today's numbers came in and the CPI was at 2.9, which is basically right on track. I was afraid the CPI was going to come in higher. And even though Bitcoin dumped today because people are a little bit more fearful of recession, I believe September is going to be good because of these numbers, because I don't think the CPI in September is really going to be any worse. And because of the fallout from Japan and other things, I do believe the Fed is definitely going to cut rates in September. And I think these numbers just reinforce it. Now, we've explained how rate cuts affect crypto. Right now, the interest rate is too high. That means when people actually deposit in bonds or money market, it's very lucrative at over 5% without any risk. Once that percentage starts coming down, and it will when the Fed funds rate comes down, which is what they're cutting, they become less lucrative and people will move into more risk assets like crypto. It does actually have a pretty big effect. If we can get down from 5% to 2%, or 2.5%, regardless of who's in office, people will filter more money into crypto. Today's numbers just reinforce that. Unless there's another big event, like something on the order of Japan, I wouldn't expect us to dump that much more. And we know that Japan's not going to raise rates again because they don't want to get mobbed by ninjas over there. Because people were very, very upset at the central bank suddenly raising rates and basically causing the Nikkei to crash 12%. Now they've since gained that back. So they're doing okay. We're doing okay. And generally, I don't really see another big event. The Iran-Israel thing is always going to be there. But let's be real here. Iran said they were going to counterattack within a couple of hours, I think 2 or 3 weeks ago, and they haven't really done anything. So my fear of that is getting less and less, even though that Israel and the United States is actually braced for such things. So realistically, I think we're doing very, very well right now. I don't see any huge events contributing to another downfall, although that always is always kind of in the back of my mind. So essentially, I do think if you look at news-wise, you look at environment-wise, I think the macro factors are actually going to play in our favor. I don't think there's an imminent giant recession heading for us, but I do think the numbers are moderate enough where the Fed will not actually will cut rates and won't hold the interest rates as high as they have, because that could actually induce a big recession if it's too tight on the money supply. So along with the United States maybe starting to custody coins, I can see a demand definitely creeping up. And I do think the big funds are buying. They're definitely like looking at this too. And I think they have more of an insight on whether the US is really going to custody funds or not. And I think you're going to see both big Bitcoin and Ethereum inflows if they really think that the US is going to make a strategic reserve, because obviously that's going to make Bitcoin cost more. I do expect Bitcoin to actually recover to above 60,000 in the next day or two, and I don't expect any big fallout from this. So I think like it is time to get those bags ready, especially if you are in altcoins or like, smaller altcoins. I still probably would go with Bitcoin at this moment, but I do think the time is coming where you would switch to altcoins, especially like next month or towards the end of this month. So that's the news for today. Let me know what you think. Like and subscribe, hit that bell notifications button. Thank you and have a nice day.